of, we're calling it Vlogmas. I don't know if it'll be every day till Christmas or just 12 days or somewhere in between, but we're going to roll with it, get as much content out to you guys. Things that I enjoyed about doing it yesterday is it is pushing me out of my comfort zone. It's also making me just record and do the things to show you regardless of the house situation. We're not aiming for perfection. I'm not aiming to have a quiet house, whereas normally when I do my floss tube, it's like, okay, I need all quiet. So that's good. It's like pushing those comforts and pushing myself out of my comfort zone, which is how we grow. So so far everyone seems to be enjoying the first Vlogmas, which is wonderful. I've got my morning coffee in my Christmas mug because we found them. These are the ones that you pour the hot in and it lights it up. So there we go. This morning I am just sitting down at my office. My son just got off to school and I am going to go through the office things, my planner, make sure emails, those kinds of things, just make sure I'm all set in those areas. And then I'm going to get to some model stitching, and then I'm just deciding, I kind of wanted to get that tree skirt done because it is December 2nd and our tree doesn't have a skirt, and I feel like I should just tackle that project first, but I also have other crafty projects itching my brain. So, plus I was just the other day in the middle of trying to sort out some of my quilting fabrics. I was trying to come up with a new system for it now with the move and storage, and I've also purchased a bit more fabric over like the summer. So just trying to figure out how am I going to store my fabric going forward. So I found some containers that I think are going to work pretty good. So now I'm just in the process of like folding them to all match and then sorting, because everything kind of got thrown in boxes for the move and now it's like was sorted but isn't anymore. So that's like one of the last like big unpacking, organizing of my work office space. So that's kind of like half over on my one table there, and I'll maybe just bring you guys over there. Maybe I'll have to, because I'm gonna have to clear it off regardless of what I do. So maybe we'll just do a quick little show you what I figured out for my storage system there. Yeah. So model stitching this morning, I have, show you a little sneak peek of it. So I'm very close to finishing this one. So hopefully I can get that finished today and then we can get it made into, I'm probably going to do a pillow. And then it'll be, maybe I can show you guys like the behind the scenes of taking the photos and stuff like that for the cover shot. That might be a fun little thing. I have some other little crafts. I did share these on like my social and stuff. I had a night of crafting with one of my friends and I just made some like little ornament things that I thought would be fun to kind of throw on presents, like as a little decorative tag, so to say. So I had all sorts of just whatever I have around for craft stuff, and I was just throwing things, painting some things and throwing them all together to make these cute little, could be ornaments, but to add to like a present. So some that I didn't fully necessarily finish. So these were all just raw wood I stained, and then I, got the paint pen out and did some painted these little wood charm things and added them on, which are just so cute. I think they make great little add extra to the, very simple, very easy, very quick, but adds quite a bit of like, I didn't really do much with that one. Yeah, it's fun to do stuff like this. Just kind of pull out some stuff that you have on hand and just get some crafts done. So I've got lots of like the little wooden pieces that are just like raw wood. And so then I just went and painted them in all the different, so I got more, these ones are my favorite ones, like the little gingerbreads. Yeah, anyways, got some sleds and stuff. So those pieces are still extra to add to tags and whatnot. I've got a Merry and Bright. And then I did these ones. Joy. Noel. What else do we have? We did some of the fabric candy canes. I've showed those before, but I am going to make some more of these. That's on my list of like crafts to do. So maybe one of these days. And then this one, I got these really cute little wooden light bulbs. And again, they're just raw wood. I stained them and then I just painted the ends of them like that. I think they're so cute. Just on a little tag. So anyways, those just like little things that have just been sitting here. So in my ready for Christmas, I have to do a lot of Christmas shopping still too. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna get off to do some, finish up my stitching, do a little work stuff, and then I will come back in a little bit to do clear off that table so that we can either do a craft or maybe start looking at cutting up the fabric for the tree skirt. We'll see. Okay, see you in a bit. All right, so I know we decorated, got this going yesterday, and I had talked about maybe changing a few things out. I knew it wasn't fully complete. I thought I used to have a lot more like little Christmas trees and things that I could have used like up in here, but I don't seem to have them anywhere, like a lot of those like bottle brush kind of trees, right? And I could have sworn I bought some more even last year, and no, I don't know where. I obviously don't have them. Maybe I thought I was going to. So anyways, what I'm trying to say is that this upper part, I definitely wasn't fully set on it yet. Like I want a lot more layering pieces for back there. So I want to make some trees, and then I also am looking at like maybe a framed piece or two. What can I do to fill in that like behind some of these nutcrackers? Yesterday I had talked about like painting the big guy that was here. I found this one that I thought kind of works a little bit better. The white of it, I'm not sure if I'm gonna leave him as is. I do like the idea of painting some of these nutcrackers. So like this little guy, I wanna take him and do something fun with it. Anyways, I'm just back here to say that I kind of wanted to get this, like I had said yesterday, a little bit more tuned into like the classic white, green, red, and then hints of gingerbread in it. I think the more vintage pieces, like these little Santas that I had picked up, I think I'm gonna take them and make more of a vintage Christmas display for above my kitchen. These little trees back here, I think I'm gonna, those I got at the dollar store, I think I might do something to those today to kind of get that more gingerbread feel and I got to replace this painting. I don't know where my command strips went. I had them, and my A Type of Christmas does not have like a picture hanger on it. And then on my list of things to do, I've got to take this last rod of curtains down. These were what was here when we moved in, and we're just going to go without window coverings, see how we like it, and then go from there. We might end up getting like roll blinds if we find we need to like keep the heat out in the summer, but otherwise this is our living space, and it's pretty private here, and we don't really ever use curtains unless it's to keep the sun out. So I think, yeah, we're gonna get those down. Then this is what I was sort of talking about. I have like these little shelves here. This is where my blue candlestick was before. So it's got a white and a black normally beside it. And I'm thinking that the color I was hoping to go with is more of a sage kind of green. So I'm gonna paint that today too. I'm gonna look at getting something Christmassy to hang here, and then we're gonna do a Christmas display on this little cabinet. We have a fireplace here that's like double walled, so it goes in between the living room and dining room. And I've got the same kind of cabinet over here on this side. So I've said it in one of my other videos. We intended on like coming in and painting everything, and it hasn't happened. We haven't really figured out what colors we want. We're living with it as is, and we're just gonna tackle that eventually. Like I said, I don't have living room furniture or anything really, so we'll maybe get that and then figure out paint. Kind of do it backwards, but it is what it is. Anyways, yesterday when I was picking, like getting stuff for my hutch, I had pulled aside some things for here. So for this fireplace topper, I have this nice arch that just has worked really well here. I wanted to hang it, but I haven't gotten that far. I don't know if I'm going to. It's working pretty good just leaning up against it. But I had, in my dollar store stuff that I had bought the other day, I found these little felt trees. They're actually pretty good size. So this is kind of like what I was thinking for up on that other cabinet, is stuff like this that's nice and tall. But I love these. These were at the dollar store, believe it or not. And there was these little ones here too that are also felt. And so naturally, these just kind of all started to come together. I was like, oh, this would make a really cute, like woodsland greeny, something that we can leave out for winter as opposed to just all Christmassy. These were also the dollar store. They're little ceramic ones. So that is what I had kind of separated out yesterday, and then found some more of our like more winter style nutcrackers that are a bit more neutral palettes. So I'm going to play with that for up here and do a big display. I have some little thrift store finds, basket and little glass jars and stuff that were fun. Yeah, so that is what I'm thinking for up here, is kind of that more winter green Christmas neutrals that roll into winter. And then again over here, I'm gonna have to switch up this display. These, my little paint tape here. I was going to install these little things here. They're like a deep shelf with a little rail, so you can kind of like layer stuff up in there. I'm not sure. I was gonna do two. One, two. Obviously my candlestick didn't have a candle in it before, and I just found those in the Christmas section, and they're actually like super cool. Of course, with the kids, I don't ever do candles anymore, so These are just battery operated, and they have the ever so slight like little flicker to them. So I think they're awesome. And they have a timer. They stay on for 6 hours and then they'll shut off automatically for 18. So that's kind of fun. But now that it's in this candlestick, it doesn't really work there. I was thinking of moving them anyways, like the candles. I was thinking of putting, like maybe doing a candle display in amongst this stuff. But anyways, this has to get decorated for Christmas too. And like I said in the living room, I have just been kind of plunking up the like stuff I have for walls where they had hooks. I haven't gone and like filled, like this is all just old from the previous owners. So I'm not too worried about it. We'll get that taken care of when we paint. So we're just kind of, again, living as is. See, we've taken down the blinds that were here, and we're gonna fill those with, like, take those. I still have the hardware up there to take down. So, oh, there's our little elf. He came to visit the boys. He's just hanging out here. Anyways, this is the other area over here that I was talking about yesterday that I want to get some garland up there and then do some displaying up here. But I do have some, like, I'm thinking more, maybe I'll make this a little bit more kitchen themed. I'm not sure. I might, yeah, I should have just done it all at once. Because then it kind of works itself out, I feel. But I've got most of the stuff out, and we are just gonna see what we can do. I gotta change up some of the stuff in here. All right, so we are going to do some crafting this afternoon. I was thinking about doing that tree skirt today, but I did just read someone's comment who's you know, been quilting a lot longer than I have, and they were like, I think that pattern's gonna take you a little longer than a day or two to like commit to. So I absolutely realized that, yeah, I haven't even looked at the pattern or pulled out my fabric, decided, you know, nothing. So I am not much of a planner, so you guys know. I'm just winging this thing, and I think I should, at least before I attempt to try and waste a whole afternoon doing that and then have nothing for you guys, maybe one of the nights here I will pull the chart out and have a better read through it, see if I can figure out the fabrics, and maybe at least talk about a plan for it, get it started for the year. I'm not sure what it's going to actually look like. So definitely not discouraged by the project. I'm still going to give it a good old college try, as they would say. But anyways, for today, we are going to just move on to some Christmas decor pieces. I want to try and figure out some sort of trees for in my displays upstairs. Other things, I don't even know. I just grabbed a bunch of stuff and we're gonna get going. So I have my table over here. This is where I usually film. Desk is over here where I work all the time. I am currently at my utility table, let's call it that. This is where I do a lot of my finishes and photos and stuff like that. So I've got it kind of set up for that, and I have my sewing desk next to it. So I've got the 3 different tables in here, and right now it is covered with some of my fabric. So I will just do a quick little show you what I figured out for my storage, what I think is gonna work. We're gonna see, okay? Okay. So I'm new to filming at this table. I am new to my camera setup. I think it's pretty okay. This is kind of a good test for when I do want to do some tutorials and stuff for you guys. So this is what I have this is not all my fabrics, but I had just taken one box of them, and I was trying to sort things out kind of in their color groupings, and then I was going to go through and like do a bit more in depth. But for now, we're just trying to get it off the table. So I had found these storage bins from Walmart, and I think they're gonna work pretty good because I can fit 2 rows of the fabric in it. So most of my fabric that I have, I like to purchase, like collect, I guess, stash away fat quarters. So I have a lot of fat quarters, and then some I have a little bit more of, but I can't really come up with a better storage solution for myself right now. I thought this would be the best. They fit in here nice. If I do bins by like color families, and maybe like I was thinking obviously do a Christmas bin, those kinds of things, and then just stack these on a storage shelf. That's where I'm at right now. I think it's gonna work pretty good, but it's all kind of trial and error. I would love to know what other people do for their fabric storage, because it's definitely, like, I know people do the comic boards for like wrapping their fabric on and stuff, and I love that. I think it looks wonderful. It's a great way to see it all, but I just don't think I have enough of fabric for that. Like, a lot of these are just little fat quarters, or even have been cut from already, like a little backer out of them or something. So I just thought that that's not really going to work for me. If I had more yardage, like the bigger cuts, I feel like it would, but for all these little teeny tiny sort of, they're almost more scrap, right? But obviously still plenty for quilty projects and finishing and stuff like that. But yeah, so I had a hard time deciding on what to do for storage. So this is about as good as I could come up with. That worked for me for right now. So they fit in here pretty good, and the little go on, I can still see through the bins. So when I'm at my shelf, I can kind of, you know, have a peek, but it also doesn't take a lot to just pull one of these down and sort through it. So more or less, like, this is how my fabric started out on one of those little like 3-tier craft trolleys from like Michael's or wherever else you can get them. And that's where it started and exploded. Obviously I've outgrown the 3 tiers. So that is why I've kind of come up with this as a solution. We will see how it works, but I think it's going to be good. I just have to haul it all out and sort so that it's in its color bins. Yeah, this is a temporary getting it off of. A lot of this got like unfolded and like mucked around from the move, and just in the time frame between unpacking and getting to this point, I obviously was digging through fabrics and stuff, trying to find things and still continue to be able to get work done. So now I have a bit more of a like cleanup of my fabric, because I've been like putting it here and putting it there and trying to use it and figure out a solution for it in the process. So yeah. All right, so that is, like I said, lid fits on perfect. I think these are going to work good. Again, I know it all comes down to trial and error and stuff like that, but maybe Maybe I just need to start buying fabrics in larger quantities. I'd rather have variety, I think, though. That's, I don't know. At least for what I use it for right now. Obviously, sometimes certain things you end up getting more of. Okay. So, here we go. I think it works pretty good because you can sort through it and see everything, keeps it nice and clean and tidy, and keeps the dust off of it. There we go. All right, so got a few extra stacks here. I'll just put it off to the side on that one. Okay, so this is, I had sort of talked to you guys before, one of the trees that I got from the dollar store, and I think I'm going to paint it and change the look of it a little bit. I think I'm going to keep this one as is. I might darken it a little, not sure yet. This I'm going to paint a darker brown and do like the white gingerbread icing kind of look on it. And I'm going to do the same white detailing on this one. This, I was thinking about maybe doing like candy cane striping on it, but I also might just leave it as is with the tin. I'm not too sure. It also has like a big gob of like hot glue, so I'm going to try my best to get that off. Yeah. Anyways, that is those. I'm going to try that out. And then I also had this one nutcracker. I grabbed him to start because he is just a random one. He doesn't have any special writing or meaning. Every year I get my husband one for Christmas. It started out as a thing and it really grew into like our thing. So every year we've got a nutcracker for every year, and I usually write something on the bottom of them as a little memory for the year. And yeah, so when I say we have a nutcracker collection, we do. But this guy has, like, I wouldn't even be able to tell you where he came from. Was he like just a random one? And I might have even bought him secondhand. I'm not sure. So I thought he'd be a good one to start with and to see what I can do to make him. Is he just going to look goofy? Is he going to look like he's been hand painted? Probably. But in a good way, I don't know. So I am going to attempt to revive this guy, give him a different style, a look, I don't know what. All right, so this is what I have done so far. This is simple, love it. This got a little crazy. I think I went a little too heavy with the white, and then also I don't think I really had the greatest paintbrush, but I just kept pushing through, and that's what we have. I will get it on display and we will see if it's gonna work, if I like it. Definitely a little bit more nervous. I think I gotta find some better paintbrushes about actually being able to do something with my nutcrackers, because I kind of thought this would turn out better. Not sure how I feel yet, but that's what I've got. I'm gonna move forward and just see what happens. All right, I have been busy painting. This is that nutcracker. I just realized I have a bit of white still to do and around the little jewel here. So I kind of went with the brown, like gingerbread candy cane idea, and I think he's pretty cute. He's not perfect, I'll say that, but he's pretty cute. He's gonna need a spray paint or a Mod Podge to kind of seal him. So I will do that eventually. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how he turned out. I think he's pretty cute. My inspiration was kind of like this one. I really like this little guy, but yeah, so I was kind of inspired by that. Kind of go with that same idea. I want to change, I think, possibly update his little gingerbread house a bit, give it a bit more style, but anyway, those are those. And then I also had found my other tree set, like the other one. The other one I ended up doing, I had already told you guys, I painted this quite dark, and then did quite a bit of white detailing on it. It looks good. I like it. I brought it upstairs, and I think it's going to work better with like the woodland kind of green theme. So I think this one I'm going to, well, it would work as is. I think I'm going to do this, the lighter gingerbread kind of color with lighter amounts of white on it. And then I might do this one candy cane striping, red. Might be a lot, but maybe if I do, yeah, them going this way. Anyways, I'm going to play with it. We will see. Hopefully I'll be able to share that by the end of today. All right, so I painted these up. I love how this came together better than the last one. Again, the last one is great and I'm going to use it, but this is going to work better for that other display, I think. And then I added some red striping to this tree. I think it's kind of fun. I think it's going to work great on that hutch. So we've got that, the nutcracker. I'm just going to quickly paint this snowflake white, and then all right, so what did I get done for today? I did not get the trees and things I wanted to get done up here, or that candlestick still, but I did do this little nutcracker, and he turned out super cute. I think he was a good idea to paint. Just something different and fun. And then look at these cute little trees. I think they are wonderful. So there we go. I put those in there. I did pull out some of the other things, and I think I'm just going to play with it for the next little bit until I get it exactly to a point where I'm like happy with it. Then I'll show you guys again, because you're probably sick of just seeing this hutch. So that's that for today. We will check back in when I feel like it is done. Now I did get to the top of the fireplace, like I had said I wanted to. So I got all these little trees and this collection of the nutcrackers, pulled some candlesticks, and went with this. So I still haven't got to either side, but this is what we're gonna do for up here. And I think it'll be a nice one that can kind of continue longer than Christmas. So that is the top of the fireplace. I might add some garland, but I was thinking more like maybe a twine, something a little lighter and vintage. I don't know. We will see. But for now, I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah, it came together actually better than I had expected, I think. So there we go. Super cute. All right, so end of day 2 of Vlogmas. I feel like I maybe didn't share very much with you guys today. Yeah, it was just kind of one of those days, kind of chaotic in its own way. I did a lot of like morning stitching, and then, you know, lunch, and then it's like I did the little bit of crafting, and then cleanup, and then kids, and then supper, and then it just snowballs. So I did get some stuff done. Tomorrow I am going to start the morning off with some work. And then I do have, tomorrow will be like kind of the weekly reset for the kitchen for myself. So I'm going to kind of do that stuff, restock the food, do a little food prep, maybe kind of get the house cleaned up, maybe finish up some decorating. I have no idea. I'm just gonna see what the day brings. I have a few goals for like things I would like to get done, but one thing you'll learn about me is that when I make a like to-do list, I always put way too much on it. I always try to do more than I can do. So someone did say something about that in my very first Vlogmas yesterday, that this is probably going to be too much for me to do, and that is exactly probably true. And that's why I haven't really committed to say like this is going to be 12 days of Christmas or the 25 days before Christmas, like the traditional Vlogmas. I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit, and I know that it was like in a kind way too. Like I think the way I just said that maybe sounded like they were kind of saying I'm not going to be able to stick to it. That's not at all what she meant by it. She just was kind of being more kind in saying like don't do more than you can, or you know, realizes that I have a very full plate already and that this is just adding to it, especially during the holidays, and I'm aware of that. I said when I was going to do this that there's no way I could do a real live day-to-day Vlogmas all the way up to Christmas because I have 2 young kids and a whole bunch of family and friends and things that are just, I'm going to be very busy with those kidlets, and I am very intentional with my time with them and just soaking it all up. So I realize I'm not going to be able to do it all. But I like even today, at the end of today, I kind of feel like this is a weird combination of things that I did end up filming, and I don't even know yet because I'm recording this before I put it all together. Yeah, so I don't know how this video is going to come together, and I'm kind of like, why am I doing this? Why? I don't have stuff to share, but it is just to get comfortable again to be here and to try and get more content to you guys and kind of think about how I can do different styles of content creating. So push myself out of that box that I'm very comfortable in. So anyways, I hope you got something out of today's video, and if not, there's always tomorrow or the next day. We'll see what we can create. All right, have a good night. Hopefully this gets up today. Might be in the morning. You'll be seeing me when you see me. Okay, until next time, happy stitching.